Hi, Earl. This is Cheryl, your wife. I'm calling because I got a phone call from some lady there in the prison with you, and she done been told me that you two have been having conjugal visits of your own in there. And I'm very upset because I thought our marriage vows were sacred. And even though you've been in prison for many years now, I never done cheated on you. And I can't believe you cheat on me, your wife, and the mother of your children. And all I can say is you are a lousy husband and my least favorite step sibling. This is Cheryl. And welcome back to another episode of Crips and
crazy.
Corks. I'm your host, DJ, here with my co-host.
Paul, as usual. Stepson.
Yes.
Wait, stepson?
Step sibling.
Step sibling. Okay,
Yes.
that's better
So
than
Cheryl-
stepson, but.
So Cheryl married her step sibling, which is technically illegal.
Hey, I guess, they're not related by blood,
No.
so.
I didn't want to go too far.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It's giving. Yeah, it's giving what it's giving.
Yeah.
I don't really know how about because there's a lot of jokes I want to make, but I can't make them because they're too much for the internet.
Oh, that's fair.
So we'll move on to something that's.
Else, Paul, how the hell are you? Tell me your blessings and your curses for this week.
I'm doing good, and I think my blessing for this week is gonna surprise you for a bit
Okay.
because I think my blessing for the week is the furry convention in Pittsburgh right now.
Okay, I'm not surprised. Okay, so I said to you on Friday that we should go.
You said that?
Yeah,
I don't remember that. Maybe we were lit.
we were a little
We
late.
had those 4th of July drinks, girl.
Yes,
How does...
because we are recording this back to back because I have a vacation coming up. But no, I said that and I just go walk around because like furries are actually really nice people.
They are really nice people.
Just go and like participate. Although I did not appreciate it last night when my grandfather asked he was going to bed to say like, I just saw on the news that the furries were in town. You should have gone down.
He said, you give off furry vibes. Also,
But I don't appreciate a lot of things my grandfather says because as he gets older and his dementia's kicking in, he's becoming very racist. And he has said homophobic things in the past, and so I think that joke was a little too homophobic for me.
yeah, very that. And like I said, well, as you said, furries are very
Yes.
nice people. If you walk up to they take pictures with everyone when they're in town.
And like I want to go just because they are nice people and like it's an experience, like being part of something
yeah,
like,
everyone loves it.
bigger than yourself.
Right. No, like I said, everyone loves it, and all the locals go up and they'll ask for pictures, and I
Yeah.
take pictures with literally everyone, and like
Maybe after this we'll go down.
they're living their best lives,
Yes.
and I appreciate
They're
that
living
for
their
them.
truth, their honesty.
And I thought I heard on one of the articles that they're gonna bring like an estimated $1.4 million into the
Yeah.
city this year. Like they're bringing the economy. Like furries are a part of Pittsburgh's economy.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like furries are a part of our economy in a major
is.
way.
I mean, it is a huge thing to the city. Like,
Right. It's really interesting.
to put it bluntly, basically, Anthrocon is paying for us to have the NFL draft next year.
Very that. And no one wants to have that conversation.
Because here's the thing, the NFL draft is going to come. It's not going to bring in anywhere near what Anthrocon is.
Right. Taylor Swift brought in more money.
Exactly.
Like,
But
but no one wants to talk
Anthrocon's
about
basically paying for everything that's being done to the city for the NFL draft.
that. Right.
And it happens every year. And
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest conventions of the
Yes.
year. It's crazy. No, it's so cool, honestly.
It's
Yeah.
your curse that nobody understands how cool furries are.
It should have been. But I have to make this a curse because I already have something else to talk about,
Okay.
Pop Culture Corner, and this can't run too long. But I've been watching The Queer Ultimatum, and it's one of those shows on Netflix. It's 6 lesbian couples go in, and what they do is they break up, and they break up for 3 weeks, pick one of the other, like, people from one of the other couples. They have a trial marriage with that person. And then after
Oh,
those,
I think I've seen clips of this.
yeah, it's so good. And like after the 3 weeks, they go back to their original partner and do an original like a trial marriage with their original partner for 2 weeks. And it's like supposed to be this experiment, like, are you really ready for marriage and stuff? And the drama, oh my gosh,
Okay,
it's so good.
I haven't seen the Queer Ultimatum. I've seen. Is there a
Yeah, there's
one
a straight one, yeah.
that's just called The Ultimatum?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
There's not one for gay guys, but the
No.
lesbian.
But I do think on the Ultimatum, before they had Queer Ultimatum, they did like would have like queer people on there.
Mm-hmm. Which is really interesting.
Because I remember there being like two lesbian couples who had swapped partners.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest of them were all straight. But
highly recommend.
Okay.
And those lesbians are so dramatic. Like, watch both seasons. So good. It's not really a curse. I just needed to put it somewhere in the episode because I needed to talk about it.
Okay.
What are your blessings and curses?
My blessing is that I'm a great cook. Everyone loves my food.
Okay.
For 4th of July, I made pasta salad. Everyone loved it. And last night, my grandfather was like, I'm going to teach you how to cut down pork tenderloin. And I was like, I don't need to be taught how to cut meat by a man. Like, I know how to cut meat. And I did a fantastic job at cutting the meat. Shocker.
There you go.
My
Top
curse
Chef America.
is that my supposed best friend hid my alerts on his phone for an entire day.
Oh, it was like that for like 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Oh
And
my
I didn't
god.
know how to fix
No
it.
wonder I'm like shouting into the ether, like sending you TikToks. I'm texting you things about the podcast, and you're not getting back to me for fucking hours.
Yeah, because I didn't know, like, I wasn't sure. I thought it was something with my phone, and I had your notifications silenced, and I didn't know how that even happened, and it's fixed now.
Paul got drunk and decided that he was going to break up with me, and then woke up sober and was like, I don't remember that.
How did I do that again? Drunk Paul does some crazy things sober Paul can't even comprehend.
Mood. That's such a mood.
Oh my gosh, yes. That's so funny, though.
All right. Take us into pop culture corner.
All right. Let's get into it. So, there's this story, right? This guy, he was robbing one of those fancy, like, I'm not sure exactly what store it was, but it was, like, probably, like, Gucci or a higher-end store in a mall, right? And that store was on the second story of the mall. And, of course, the police get there super quick because if there's, like, stores like Gucci and shit in the mall, they have tons of security guards and stuff, right? So he robs them, and he's running away. He jumps off the balcony of the second-story mall and lands on the ice rink and shatters both of his legs.
Oh my god.
And
First of all, there's a mall with an ice rink in it still?
Yes, and the pictures are so funny. And when he jumped, he yelled, "Come get me!"
And apparently
like he was
they did.
mocking them. Bitch, they had to take him out on a stretcher and take him to the hospital.
He was handcuffed to the stretcher.
Right, he shattered both of his legs. Like, why would... Because, like, if you've ever been into the mall, for some reason, the second story of a mall seems so much higher than any other second story you've ever seen in your whole life.
Yeah, but I think they do make it higher than standard.
Maybe for the stores, maybe they need extra ceiling space or something, but no, I think that the story's so funny, and if you can, go look at the pictures of this guy,
I'm gonna
because
have to look it
he
up.
fell in that typical, you know how they fall in, like, that L shape, like that? Yeah. He fell in, like, the typical, like, comedic way.
Jesus. Oh,
And it's just so, I don't know what in him thought, like, oh, I'm gonna jump and I'm gonna make it, especially with this ice rink down there.
Yeah, like, literally, I would, like, I don't even know, like, I would try, like, you know how, like, they have those cars that they raffle off?
Mm-hmm.
I would try to jump so that I, like, land on the roof and can slide down onto the floor.
Right.
Like, it's higher up, so it's, like, less distance.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it's curved, so, like, if you hit it right, even if you don't land the right way, you might be able to just slide right down the windshield, down the hood, and, like, onto the ground and keep going. This guy was an idiot.
Oh, yeah. And do you want to know probably the funniest part? Now, this part is alleged. There isn't proof of this happening, but allegedly the police put on ice skates to get out to him.
I really hope they did.
Can you imagine the police ice skating to get your ass?
Wait, I really hope it was like, I think this size is a little too small. Can I have another one? Right. My legs! We're coming!
Right. It's just such a funny story. I'm so glad I came across this story. Shout out to Last Update on the Left.
That's amazing.
No, it's Side Stories. They brought this story to my attention. I thought it was so funny.
That's amazing.
So I had to bring it to y'all's attention because I think that shit's so funny. And just picturing him like laying there on the ice, like, it's awful that he shattered his legs or whatever.
It is, but you know, he's really lucky because like with the ice, he could have hurt a lot more. Like beyond shattering his legs, like the sliding, he could have like broken so many more bodies.
Right. Now they did take him to the hospital, and his identity has been yet to be released. And that is that for Pop Culture Corner.
That was a good one.
Anything to add?
No.
All right. Let's drink.
Pour
one out for our homeboy with the shattered legs.
Today we are drinking a Lucenbros 2023 Riesling. It is a crisp, fruity, and refreshing Riesling from the mineral-rich slate soil of the Mosel Valley. It is an ideal companion to mildly spicy stir-fry dishes in Indian curries, or simply serve as an aperitif.
I love Indian food. You know,
we might have to get Indian food later to drink with us.
Right, actually. You remember this week I actually made tiki masala.
Yes, you did.
If you are a member of Twinks and Drinks and watch our TikTok lives, you know I was making that tiki masala.
Yes, let's crack into it.
Damn, if you can. Jesus. Okay, we'll give it a go.
I hate you.
The patriarchy is real. ASMR pour one. ASMR pour number one.
ASMR. Thank you.
Ooh, it smells good, guys.
Oh.
Cheers. Oh my god. That just healed all of my childhood trauma. Oh, geez.
Okay. One thing we haven't mentioned on this episode, we've done 2 white wines 2 weeks in a row. They both had screw tops. I'm giving this another 5 out of 5.
This is 5 out of 5. This is a 5 out of 5 wine. 5 out of 5 grapes. Awesome. I love the Riesling in general.
Lucenbros Riesling, yeah.
This is such a good wine. 5 out of 5.
Oh my god.
I don't think it's even happened that we've had 2 5 grapes in a row.
No.
That's crazy.
I like how when we started we were like really anxious and gave everything 5 grapes. And now we're much harsher.
Yeah, that's a really good wine.
Last week and this week it probably sounds like we're not being harsh, but here's the thing. Because we've gotten harsher, we're able to give these 5 out of 5.
Yeah, this is really good wine. You guys need to, while it's still summertime and while it's still hot out there, get you this wine and drink it outside with your best gal pals.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, Corkies, let me tell you a story.
Let's get into it.
They say beauty is pain. But how much pain would you endure to be beautiful? Would you spend hours every day having your hair done? Would you spend multiple hours exercising to have the perfect figure? Would you sleep on a metal slab? Would you bathe in goat's milk and wear a mask of raw meat every night? How far would you go to be beautiful? Today, we're going to be discussing one of history's most beautiful women and just how far she went to keep her looks, as we discuss the strange beauty routines of the Empress SiSi.
That's iconic, first of all, and I am so interested why sleeping on the metal slab was going to get her where she needed to be.
I'm going to explain it.
Back problems, like, what, they want her to have a fucked up back?
Okay, so let's do a little background into who she was.
Okay.
Elisabeth Amalie Eugenie, Duchess in Bavaria, was born on December 24th, 1837 to Maximilian Joseph, Duke in Bavaria, and Princess Ludovica of Bavaria, a half-sister of King Ludwig I of Bavaria.
Period. I love their chocolate. Isn't Bavarian chocolate a thing? It has to be.
Belgian chocolate? Hofbrauhaus is Bavarian.
I could have swore they were doing chocolate over there.
Bavarian pretzels?
Maybe. I don't fucking know. We can move on.
Okay. She was the couple's second daughter and the fourth of 10 children the couple had.
Okay.
Maximilian, her father, was described as being odd, having an almost infantile love of the circus, and preferring to walk the Bavarian countryside rather than performing his ducal duties and promoting Bavarian folk music.
You know what? I get that. He's just a man who's trying to live a peaceful life. So I can get that. I can get behind that.
He actually introduced Richard Wagner to his cousin King Ludwig II, who became Wagner's patron and helped his rise to fame.
Okay. Now, you said Richard Wagner?
Yeah.
He's the famous one or the other one?
He is a famous composer.
Oh.
He is now, but King Ludwig II was like his first patron and like gave him all these money to write operas, and Ludwig II was like a little in love with him.
Okay, interesting.
Now you're probably wondering why a princess married this louse. Well, Ludovica only married Maximilian after an affair with the King of Portugal failed. And upon their engagement, Maximilian declared to her that he did not love her. It was only marrying her because he was scared of his grandfather who had arranged the marriage.
That's crazy. Not him being her rebound. That's crazy.
Ludovica would spend the rest of her life frustrated that her sisters had married kings and Austrian archdukes, and she had married a simple duke from an undistinguished branch of her own dynasty. They were cousins.
Oh no, they were cousin plowing.
Mm-hmm. And so she was determined she would arrange better marriages for her children.
Hey, I mean, at least she wanted better for her kids. That's what you can ask. That's half what you can ask for, I guess.
Yeah.
Or most of what you're gonna. I don't know.
Now, Elisabeth, who was known growing up as SiSi, SiSi,
Okay.
grew up in a relaxed household where there was little structure or discipline. She was a tomboy who loved running through the fields, climbing trees, riding horses, and skipping her lessons to do so. And she would also play with the local peasant children rather than with other royal or aristocratic children, as would be normal for this time period.
She's like her dad.
Yes. Now, in 1853, Ludovica and her two eldest daughters, Helene or Nini and SiSi, saying that out loud, like, I feel so bad. Nini and SiSi were invited to Bad Eichel, the imperial retreat of the Austrian imperial family, by Ludovica's sister, the Archduchess Sophie, mother of Austrian Emperor Franz Joseph. Sophie was a tightly wound control freak who micromanaged her son and wanted to choose his bride from among her own nieces to be able to control her, and had set her sights on the beautiful Nini. That's a lot there.
That is a lot.
Also,
Their names sound made up a little bit. We got Nini and
Nini.
Cici, and soon they're gonna have Kiki and TT. They're just gonna go through the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
Just do the whole thing.
Also coming on the trip was Franz Joseph's younger brother, Karl Ludwig, who was a childhood friend of SiSi, and Ludovica and Sophie hoped to arrange a second engagement between the two.
A second engagement.
So they wanted Franz Joseph the Emperor to marry Nini,
Yes.
and they wanted SiSi to marry his brother.
Oh, okay. Keep it in the family.
Yes,
As
very
most royal families do.
Yeah, yes. The trip did not get off on a good start. The three women set off in a series of carriages carrying them and all of their luggage. But Ludovica demanded they stop at one point when she got a headache. And when she recovered, the carriages got separated and the three duchesses arrived without any luggage.
Oh.
To make the problem even worse, they had stopped to visit Queen Teresa of Bavaria, Ludovica's sister-in-law, along the way, who was in mourning following the death of her brother, and so they arrived to Bad Eichel in mourning black as well, as they were rushed in to meet the emperor.
Damn, that would be rough, and they weren't even in black.
And this is a time where you only wore black when you were in mourning.
Right.
So black wasn't sexy, black wasn't fashionable. It was kind of looked down upon, and so the fact that like they literally like fell out of the carriage, like imagine like you get done with a long road trip,
Right.
and you like when you like sort of almost collapse out of the car,
Right.
and immediately have these footmen who are like, the emperor's waiting,
That would be spooky.
and you just left a funeral.
Damn, that's not gonna go well, bitch. That's like a Princess Diaries story, I feel like.
The pious and studious Nini was exactly what Sophie had hoped for, but she and Franz Joseph were ill at ease with one another. Meanwhile, the 23-year-old Franz Joseph was instantly smitten with the 15-year-old SiSi and proposed to her instead.
Damn. Does she get with the other brother though? I mean, there's still the other brother.
Sophie, Ludovica, Nini, and SiSi were all aghast. But Franz Joseph defiantly declared that if he did not marry SiSi, he would marry no one at all. SiSi would later write in a letter that she loved the emperor very much. If only he wasn't the emperor, she'd be happier.
Damn, he was so down bad for her.
He was. He felt madly, passionately, irrevocably in love in an instant. Sure, like, I think she was in love, but she was in love in a way that a 15-year-old is in love.
Right. It's like me with Little Caesar's pizza. As soon as I see it, I'm down bad.
Exactly.
I love a little fucking Caesar's pizza.
And then the next morning you kind of go, oh, what was I thinking?
Exactly! It's very that! But then you eat that cold pizza because I love cold pizza and then I'm right back. I'm right back where I need to be.
Now, she and Franz Joseph did indeed marry on April 24th of 1854, and she became Empress of Austria.
Okay.
She left behind her carefree childhood for the strict and formal Habsburg court in Vienna. Despite their marriage being a love match, the pair immediately started to have issues. Franz Joseph preferred to confide in and seek advice from his mother rather than his young wife. SiSi was upset by this, as well as by the expectations that she attend court events and remain quietly seated for long hours. There was also a problem with Franz Joseph being very conservative and SiSi being very liberal and modernizing.
Oh, God. First, I want to address the whole mama's boy thing of it all, because I feel like we all know someone who's a little too close to their mom and, like, puts the mom over their partner and things.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh.
So, first of all, to describe how, like, backbiting she is.
Mm-hmm.
So, the last Austrian Empire had, like, no sons. And so, like, Franz Joseph's father was next in line.
Mm-hmm.
And his wife said, yeah, you're useless. You need to give up your right to the throne so that our son could have it, because her son was just young enough that she could manipulate into being the kind of emperor she wanted.
Oh, it's great. I feel like that kind of thing probably happens a lot amongst royal families.
It's very rare that you get to, like, pick like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because normally it's, like, parent to child, parent to child. It would just so happen that, like, there was this sort of diagonal shift to a nephew.
It's very that. And also going back to the conservative liberal thing, I feel like even to today, that's a problem where the men tend to be more conservative, where the women tend to be more open-minded and liberal.
Yeah, and I mean, she spent her childhood playing with peasants, so she thought a lot about, like, the lower classes and wanting to help them and provide for them, whereas he grew up in this very strict, very closed off, upper class royal family, where he never had it. His experience with poor people was the poor people waving to the carriages he rode by.
Right, and he probably looks down upon them, and she's like, no, there's still fucking people.
Yeah.
And he's like, but money.
Exactly.
Which I feel like happens to a lot of men, and a lot of men fall in that trap.
Things grew no better when, just 10 months after they married, SiSi gave birth to a daughter, whom the Archduchess Sophie immediately confiscated off of the young mother, and then named after herself.
That's crazy. She said, this is mine now.
It was very much, this is mine now, and to prove it, I'm going to name her Sophie.
Right? She illegally adopted. Remember back when I did the New York House of Death, where they illegally adopted that kid? That's what she did. She illegally adopted them.
Yes, it was like, you have too much to do as Empress, but I'm not an Empress, so I can take care of her. Right. Meanwhile, I'm bossing my son, the Emperor, around.
Right.
SiSi began to suffer from ill health, including severe coughing fits, as well as a crippling paranoia around narrow or steep staircases.
Huh, that's interesting. That's an interesting fear.
It's very weird.
Maybe it goes like a form of claustrophobia, it sounds like.
Yes, claustrophobia. I think she was also a little afraid that her mother-in-law was going to push her down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I would be.
Yeah, it sounded like she might.
I can just imagine her fighting with Sophie, like, you're a terrible mother-in-law, and you were my least favorite aunt.
The incest of it all.
Growing up. The following year, she gave birth to another daughter, Gisela, who her mother-in-law also took off of her.
She said, this is mine too. Thank you. I'll take that. She snatched it right out of her puss.
Literally. Gimme,
said,
mine now.
I hope you enjoyed that 9 months, loser.
You're coming home with me.
You're coming home with me, exactly. It's very that TikTok meme.
Very much that, but with a newborn baby still, like, covered in the pussy juice.
And that pussy juice actually is made into Prime by Logan Paul, which you can get at your local 7-Eleven.
Oh my god. Later that year, SiSi's health... Oops, sorry. Her health was further exacerbated when she found a pamphlet left on her desk by her mother-in-law with a passage underlined stating a queen's only ambition and duty was to produce male heirs.
Yes, stop having girls, loser.
Right after SiSi had encouraged Franz Joseph to pardon non-violent political prisoners in Austria and Italy.
Oh.
So Sophie was like...
You better shut the fuck up.
It was very that.
Stop getting involved in politics, loser.
The year after Gisela was born, SiSi's daughter Sophie died of typhus, which sent her into the first of many deep and heavy depressive episodes.
Oh, that's sad. But also, typhus would be a cool name for a boy.
Typhus.
It does sound fancy, doesn't it?
A little bit.
This is typhus.
Later that year, she became pregnant for the third time, and her mother worried the pregnancy would either kill SiSi or drive her insane. Because, like, she's, like, 19 years old, and she's, like, had baby after baby after baby. She's unhappy with her married life. She's unhappy with her home life.
Mm-hmm.
Because, what home life? Like, you have your mother-in-law, like, Franzi, you want some schnitzel?
Oh, not that.
You want some schnitzel? You need to take away the workers' rights.
That is one of the least sexy accents. The German accent can be very unsexy.
In August of 1857, SiSi finally gave birth to the long-awaited heir, Crown Prince Rudolf. Doctors, however, grew concerned over her continued depression and cough, and the fact that she began to have panic attacks when told she would have to attend official events. Within 3 years, she was diagnosed with anemia and tuberculosis, and doctors ordered her to travel south for a rescue, and she gladly abandoned her husband and children to do so.
Damn. She said, let me get the fuck out of here. She said, toodaloo whores.
As soon as she returned to Vienna, her health worsened. She began having chronic migraines to the point where she would vomit, and she began refusing to eat.
That sounds awful, actually, because migraines are actually really awful.
They are.
And can be debilitating.
So it could be that it was a little psychosomatic, that, like, she was so unhappy about her home life that she was, like, her body was, like, becoming sick because she was so unhappy. There are multitudes to the story.
Right.
Franz Joseph had hoped to have another son to secure the succession, but Elizabeth cited her bad health to avoid physical intimacy with her husband.
You know, I feel like
Which is another way, like, 15-year-old girl, you're really in love with him, and then you realize, like, oh, sex means babies, and it's like, oh, I have a headache.
Yeah, and I think we know a certain first lady who might be doing the same thing. And if you're seeing this, blink twice if you need help, and we'll get you out of there, girl.
In actuality, she had no interest in having another child, actually saying, quote, "Children are the curse of a woman, for when they come, they drive away beauty, which is the best gift of the gods."
You know, this girl, I just know if she was alive today, she would have a whole gaggle of gay friends.
Very
she
much
would
that.
be running around with some drag queens. She would be doing the thing.
Truly. Now, the couple would have one more child a decade later, another daughter they named Marie Valerie, whom SiSi was finally able to raise on her own.
Oh, good for her. I'm glad she
so
got to do that.
it took like 13 years and 4 pregnancies for her to have a kid that she could have for herself.
I'm glad she was able to have that experience.
Now, throughout this time, Elizabeth was considered the most beautiful and famous woman in all of Europe. She is barely 30 years old, already the mother of 4 children, and she began to fear that her looks were going to fade with old age.
Oh, as most people do. I mean, I feel it.
Yes.
I feel like we all feel it. Like, I mean, as gay people, like, we age quicker amongst the community. Like,
Yeah.
people look at us, and we're only 28, and people look at us like, oh,
We're the grand dams of gay life.
right, we've passed our prime already. And it's so interesting because I feel like the straight people have such a different timeline for that, and ours is like, once you turn 25, you're done.
So, to give you an idea of what she looked like,
She was really pretty, yeah.
She
She's
was
really
beautiful.
yeah.
so this was taken around shortly before her last child was born. So she's like 28, 29.
Okay, so she's literally our
Age.
which is crazy.
Now, to combat,
Aging.
yes, thank you, to combat the scourge of old age, she began performing an intense and often bizarre beauty routine in order to stay young forever.
Ooh.
Now, pride of place was her luscious hair, which she grew until it touched her ankles.
That's crazy. It's giving Rapunzel.
A little bit.
That's a little too long, though. I think hair like that, when it gets too long, it's not as cute.
Now, here's a portrait of her showing you just how long her hair was.
That's too long. Like, that's insane.
Oh, wait,
Like,
I have another.
But, like, there is no reason.
She
Okay.
could wear it like a fucking cape. It was so long.
That's great. Hold up. Can I see that one more time?
Yes.
Oh, I thought that was a scarf. That's
No,
her
that's
hair.
her hair. She's just wearing it down.
That's crazy. Like she's wearing her hair as a whole ass scarf.
Yes. Now, as a girl, it was dark blonde. However, it did darken to a chestnut, like a rich chestnutty color in early adulthood. And she would wear it in these elaborate hairstyles that other women would try to copy, and they'd have to, like, buy mounds of, like, hair pieces to achieve it.
Gosh, not the fake hair extensions.
Yes.
It's giving.
Well,
like,
it was like they'd just, like, find a maid who, like, had the same hair color as them, and it's like, shave your head.
shave your head.
Shave your head. I need it.
It's a question, not a question. It's a command. Give me your hair, bitch.
Now, daily care of her hair took 3 hours every day. It was done by Francisca Fafalik.
Who's phallic?
Fafalik? I don't know. I'm mispronouncing it. I'm trying my best.
It's fine. I had to make the joke. You already knew
I
I had to
know,
make that
I
phallic
know.
joke.
Now, she was a former hairdresser and wig maker for a theatrical company. So she's used to, like, really over-the-top hair pieces.
Right.
Now, she had some requirements. First of all, when dressing the SiSi's hair, she had to wear soft white gloves. And she was forbidden from wearing rings ever, lest they get caught in SiSi's hair.
Oh my gosh.
After brushing it, Francisca would have to collect any hairs that had fallen out during the brushing and place them in a special silver bowl and present them to SiSi to inspect. The more hair in there, the angrier SiSi would get.
See, my question though for that is like, how does she know how many hairs fell out? Bitch, just leave some on the floor. You don't gotta put them all in there. What's she gonna do? Walk around the floor looking for these hairs?
But also, like, in the brush.
Okay, the brush. Okay, you can't fake the ones in the brush.
And I'm sure it's like, show me the brush.
Right.
Cleaning your brush takes a long time. Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, SiSi, despite wanting her hair this long, would often complain of the extreme weight of it and how it caused her headaches and neck problems. And at the end of the day, it would all be taken out and then it would be pinned to the ceiling to try and relieve the pressure on her head and neck.
Bitch, that's crazy. I bet she was walking around like, just crooked neck like a motherfucker. Like, bitch, I bet her throat game was crazy.
I mean, she's probably one of those empresses, like, she drops something to be like, somebody pick it up, I can't bend over, I'm gonna...
Right. That shit will fuck up your neck, though.
Yes. Now, washing of the hair occurred every 2 weeks. It was a full day affair, and nothing was allowed to be scheduled on a hair washing day. So that it would not rush the shampooing, which was done with a mixture of egg whites and cognac.
Oh,
Straight
God.
booze and eggs.
Bitch, I bet that smelled awful.
In the heat, like, oh.
Oh, God, that had to have been awful. Not her having scrambled eggs in her hair.
I really hope, like they did in sections.
Bitch, she probably smelled like a Denny's.
Oh, I don't know. Now, you're probably wondering what SiSi was doing. A, during the 3 hours every morning that her hair was getting done, and B, the full day that her hair was getting washed every 2 weeks.
Right.
She was not being a dummy. She was actually studying languages. Because of this, she would become fluent in English, French, Hungarian, and Greek, along with her native German.
Period. We love an intellectual girly.
She once joked to her Greek tutor that while my hair is busy, my mind stays idle. I am afraid that my mind escapes through the hair and into the fingers of my hairdresser, hence my headache afterwards.
Okay, that's a little crazy, but also, like, we stand an intellectual queen. Like, I very much appreciate...
She was so intellectual. I mean, she had problems sleeping, probably from mental illness. And so she would just read and write poetry, and, like, she was very romantic. Like, she eventually moved to Greece, and she built this entire villa based on, like, the legend of Achilles.
That's so cool. I love someone who lives, like, a romantic life like that. It makes me so...
And even her portraits, I mean, the two I already showed you with her hair just were long and flowing, which women didn't wear the hair like back then. But this is her most favorite portrait.
She looks so good there.
But she doesn't look like a queen. She looks like an opera star.
Right.
Which says something because this look was actually copied for the movie Phantom of the Opera, where Christine, an opera star, wore this exact outfit.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, she does look a lot like Christine. And I will say, like, going back to the Greece thing, it's giving Grecian goddess in that portrait a little bit. Yeah. She looks really beautiful.
Now, her attention to her face was no less fanatical. She very sparingly wore makeup or perfumes, wanting to showcase her own natural beauty. However, she did have a love of face creams in an effort to keep that youthful, glowing appearance.
Right.
Now, these face creams were either concocted for her by the court pharmacist or, more scarily, by her own ladies-in-waiting in her apartments.
She's got her homegirls just mixing up random shit in her apartment.
She's like, Estee Lauder, who?
Right. She said,
Lancome, what?
These girls probably don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're like, oh, ghost milk sounds right, and then we'll put honey in this one, and then we'll just come in the other one.
So her favorite was called Creme Celeste.
Oh, okay, it sounds pretty.
It was made of white wax, spermaceti, which is fat from a sperm whale.
Okay.
Or, like, it's like head oil, like, and it was used for, like, oil lamps.
And clock me naming my daughter Spermaceti.
You should. Sweet almond oil and rose water.
Okay, period.
I really don't think any of that's going to make you look younger.
Probably not. You'll probably smell okay, but...
You'll smell okay, and I think your face is going to be really tight from the wax.
Right, she probably smells real good from the front, but from the back she's smelling like scrambled eggs and cognac.
Yes. Now, also to keep her skin youthful, she would sleep with either a mixture of crushed strawberries on her face or raw veal.
See, the raw veal is crazy. I don't get that, because you wake up with flies and shit on your face. That's crazy about her.
Now, when she slept with the raw veal on her face, she would have the veal placed on, and then she would have a special full face mask made out of leather strapped to her head to keep her beloved greyhounds from eating it off her face in the middle of the night.
That's insane. I just picture all those greyhounds, like, just weirdly licking the mask.
Can you imagine, like, little Valerie, like, having a nightmare, like, Mama?
What? Mama's busy! Mama's doing her meat! Let Mama be!
Just looking like Hannibal Lecter, like, yeah, yes, my Liebchen. Did you have a nightmare again?
She wakes up to a fucking nightmare with her mom like crazy ass leather mask. Kids are scarred for life. Bitch, that's so funny.
Her looking at Rudolph and Gisela. God, you're so lucky Grandma Sophie took you. Like, Mom comes into my room wearing her leather mask and she smells like raw meat. She smells like raw meat and scrambled eggs.
She smells like Daddy.
Oh my god. Also, to make sure that the rest of her skin stayed nice and tight. Every morning she'd shower in freezing water.
People do that today.
This would later exacerbate her arthritis in later life.
Oh, that sucks.
And every night she would bathe in either fresh goat's milk or pure olive oil.
They really do be loving olive oil over there. I don't know what it is about the chokehold olive oil has over Europe, but it's kind of crazy. They be using it for all sorts of shit.
Now this woman smells of raw meat, scrambled eggs, and sour milk.
Yeah, she definitely smells like
she's glistening. If you try to grab her arm, it just slips off, and you have olive oil on your skin.
Bitch, she definitely smells like a Denny's.
Okay, I don't know. I feel like olive oil would clog your pores.
Oh, yeah. Like, you would feel disgusting. Can you imagine?
I mean, she probably, she would bathe in it for so long, and then she'd, take a shower to wash it all off. But, I think it would clog your pores.
Yeah, it's gross. It would be... Yeah, you're not getting all of that shit off, right away.
Now, most important to her, out of anything else, was to keep her waist slim. Early on in her marriage, she developed a daily fitness regime involving stretching, horseback riding, and walking.
Period.
Which is very normal for the era.
Right. It sounds
the stretching is a little weird. What's she doing? But
oh, I thought you meant stretching, touching her toes and shit.
Yeah, women didn't do that.
So then,
they would walk. They would horseback ride. That was exercise.
Okay, I guess I'm not getting the point of why this stretching thing is weird.
It just hadn't been invented yet.
They're probably like, why is this bitch touching her toes all the time?
Exactly. Now, after she had her children, she intensified the regime and had gyms built next to her bedrooms in all of her palaces.
Girl,
and when I say gyms, I mean she had balance beams. She had those bars so that she could do pull-ups and push-ups. She had weights.
She's a fitness girly.
She was ahead of her time. She is exercising when exercise hasn't been invented yet.
I'm sorry, she's a gay man trapped in a woman's body.
She truly is. She would practice calisthenics for hours every day. After she was done with that, she would go horseback riding for hours. And then after getting ready, she would go for an hours-long walk.
See, that much exercise will fuck up your joints and shit. You can't be doing all that.
Well, she did develop really debilitating arthritis and sciatica later in life.
Riding horses for long hours at a time?
Yes. Now, she was considered to probably be the most accomplished female equestrian of her era. Because she rode so often, she could do anything with a horse.
Bitch, I bet that bitch was bow-legged as fuck.
Maybe. She soon refused to eat with her family. If she would eat with them, she would eat very little and she'd eat very quickly and then leave. Mm-hmm. But when she, all she ate were thin broths. So, soup with nothing in it. Mm-hmm. And juice from raw meat because she developed an aversion to eating meat.
This is, I can't make a joke about this because this is just an eating disorder. I can't make a joke about that.
Most fanatical was about having her corset tightly fastened. To achieve her goal of a 16-inch waist, she purchased specially made leather and steel corsets from Paris, which they were designed in Paris for French hookers.
Period.
And because they held up, because she wanted it cinched.
Right.
And it held up better than the normal silk and whalebone. But even the leather and steel wasn't strong enough, and she would only wear them for a couple weeks and then have to throw them away and get a new one.
That's crazy. Girl, this is giving mental illness at this point.
Other than corsets, she stopped wearing other forms of underwear because she thought they added bulk to her outline, and she had to be sewn into her clothing, which she preferred to be almost skin tight.
Being sewn into your clothing's crazy.
I mean, more than that, like, she wanted it to be skin tight, but also she thought, like, I don't think zippers were invented, but, like, buttons and, like, openings, like, that added bulk, and she didn't want that. She wanted to be, like, I think she just wanted to be a seal.
Interesting. And now that you
But,
say
like,
that,
she just wanted to be streamlined in the olive oil, making you, like, slippery through the water. She just wanted to be a seal. She wanted to be a selkie.
period. And real quick side note. Now that you say that thing about like being sewn into your clothing, I think I heard like this thing about the National Showgirl pageant, which is a drag pageant.
Yeah.
And apparently they deduct points if they see zippers or anything on the back of your gowns.
Oh.
So maybe it's not that weird.
Like I said, it's both bulk. She didn't want, like, any, like, wrinkles or anything like that. And she just thought, like, zippers and buttons were unseemly. To also aid in keeping thin, she would regularly take steam baths to prevent weight gain. She slept with rags soaked in vinegar laid over her hips, which she thought prevented them from gaining weight. She slept without a pillow on a thin cot on top of a metal bed frame to help her posture to make her look taller and slimmer.
Bitch, that bitch's back was probably so straight.
So, she was my height. She was 5'8". She never weighed more than 110 pounds. She was described, like, by people who met her as being unworldly thin.
She was literally starving to death.
Yes, like emaciated.
Right.
Emaciated.
Right. Bitch, body beautiful beause quaking.
Yes, very much that. So, you're probably wondering, did these bizarre regiments actually work?
Probably for a little bit, but then it probably fucked up her whole life.
We actually don't know.
Oh, really? Why?
So there are a number of accounts of people having met SiSi saying she never looked older than 30 years old throughout the rest of her life. But we have no actual proof because after she turned 30, she refused to have her photograph taken, preferring these, like, those portraits.
Yeah.
Those very idealized, ethereal, otherworldly views of herself. And if a photographer tried to sneak a photo, she always had a fan on her. And as soon as she saw the camera come out, she would cover her face. And whenever she was out in public, she would carry a parasol that was made out of white leather. Which, at the time, they were often made out of lace so you could peek through them. But she would also use the parasol to, like, hide herself.
Oh, jeez. I bet she was so fucking sad. I bet she just, like, hated herself. That's so sad.
So this is, like, one of the last pictures taken, like, pictures that she sat for.
See, she looks like a child there. Like...
Well, she's only, like, our age.
How long... Wait, are you going to get into how long she lived?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, it is known, however... So I described, like, the most extreme of her beauty regimes. It is known that later in her life, she began to eat healthier. She had a very healthy appetite, but her waist remained under 20 inches. And she actually... So you talked about eating disorder.
Yeah.
So... We can't prove it because, like, it was over 100 years ago, but they think she might have had anorexia nervosa. There are also instances of her in her youth binge eating. There was one account where she was, like, traveling and she ate an entire broiled chicken, an entire Italian salad meant for the table, a loaf of bread, and almost an entire cake.
That's insane. That's so much food.
Yes. But... Also, later in life, she did have a regular appetite. She began eating to the point where, like, she bought a country house in England, and she had a special... She didn't pick the master bedroom. She picked the bedroom that was actually right over the kitchen. She had a staircase installed so she could go to the kitchen to get snacks whenever she wanted without having to meet anyone.
A queen after my own heart, because when I'm going to the kitchen for the snacks, I don't want to talk to you. When I'm having my midnight ice cream cone, leave me the fuck alone.
And going back to her luscious hair, early on, whenever there would be a gray hair, she would order that it be plucked out, but later in life, she stopped doing that. And so, towards the end of her life, it was noted that she had just as thick hair that was just as dark, but it was heavily streaked with silver.
It was probably still really pretty.
It was.
There's nothing wrong with gray hair.
Now, you're probably wondering, did she ever settle down? No. One of her happiest moments in life was negotiating the Hungarian Compromise, which saw the Austrian Empire become the Austro-Hungarian Empire, with Hungary becoming its own autonomous country within the empire.
Nice.
However, she really loved Hungary. Like, she just felt a natural affinity with the Hungarian people because they were more relaxed. They were it was more like Bavaria growing up than Austria was. However, following her role in these negotiations, Franz Joseph refused any political advice from his wife, so she took to traveling throughout Europe and writing poetry under the pen name Titania.
Titania.
Which is the fairy queen from A Midsummer's Night Dream.
I like that.
Very romantic, right?
I appreciate her, romantic and artistic. I don't, appreciate, she was probably unhappy for so much of her life. That makes me sad, but I feel like a lot of artists are sad.
She was never quite able to escape the depression which first afflicted her when her daughter Sophie had died. Once, her husband asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and she replied, either a Bengal tiger or a fully equipped insane asylum.
Oh, jeez.
Now, this is kind of pointed that she was mentally ill, but she was actually noted for, having an interest in the treatment of mental illness at a time when not much was known about it.
Interesting.
Now, in 1889, her only son, Rudolph, with whom she had a very tempestuous relationship, died in either a suicide pact or a murder-suicide with his young mistress, and she wore black for the rest of her life.
That's crazy. That's sad.
She also spent the rest of her life blaming herself for the death, claiming that it was her blood which drove him to commit suicide. See, the Wittelsbach dynasty, which she had been born into...
Not the Wittelsbachs.
The Wittelsbachs?
You're stressing over the Wittelsbachs, bitch? Girl,
but
not that.
The family that she was born into had no shortage of mental illness and eccentricity. I mean, her father... but it was most noted by her cousin, King Ludwig II of Bavaria, who actually bankrupted his country to build fantasy-style castles and woo artists.
Interesting. Okay.
So, after her son's death, she increased her travels, wandering with just a few trusted courtiers, and really shunned Vienna and, official public life. And when she was traveling, she would travel under the assumed name of the Countess of Hohenhems.
Hohenhems?
Hohenhems.
That's just Lucky's on a Friday night.
True.
Lots of hoes and lots of hymns.
And this is kind of sweet. Her once passionate marriage had faded into a lengthy separation, but towards the end of her life had developed into a warm friendship with Franz Joseph that they kept up through occasional meetings and letters.
That's cute.
So, they would write long, really friendly, affectionate letters to one another. And, she wouldn't go back to Vienna, but, she'd be like, we can meet on vacation and vacation together.
That's
Which,
cute.
if I was Franz Joseph, I would be like, bitch, what do you mean we can vacation together? Your whole life's a vacation.
Right.
On August 10th of 1893, SiSi left the Hotel Beau Rivage in Geneva and walked towards the ferry to cross Lake Geneva along with her lady-in-waiting. They were traveling alone because she didn't like large, retinues. She wanted to, keep it low-key.
Okay.
As she walked along the pier to the ferry, a man approached her and appeared to peek under her parasol before seeming as if he stumbled into her, at which point she fell over and he ran away. Despite her lady-in-waiting's protest, SiSi got up and boarded the ferry and then promptly fainted. No doctor was on board, and only a former nurse who was traveling as a passenger was there, and her and the lady-in-waiting cut open SiSi's dress and corset to find that she had actually been stabbed by the man Luigi Lucchini, a 25-year-old Italian anarchist who was actually there to kill the Duke of Orleans, the pretender of the French throne, but had missed him and just happened to run into SiSi, who he had only that morning learned was the Empress of Austria after reading it in the newspaper. He read in the gossip column.
That's insane, bitch.
SiSi's lady in waiting had to convince the ferry captain. The ferry captain was like, "She's just overheated. It's hot. Like, maybe you should like go back to your hotel." But he was already sailing away, and she had to say, "You don't understand. This is the Empress of Austria," before he would turn the boat around and go back to the pier. She was carried back to the hotel on a stretcher by 6 sailors from the boat. But as she was carried into her suite, she died at the age of 60, having been Empress of Austria for 44 years and leaving behind a legacy of the forever beautiful and young, carefree spirit she had come to Vienna as at the age of 15. The last indication that perhaps SiSi's beauty regime worked is the plaster death mask made just moments after she died that is still on display in the Hofburg in Vienna, showing a face remarkably youthful for the age of 60. So that's a picture of her using the fan.
Okay.
This is the last known picture of her, taken the day before her death by a paparazzi.
She doesn't look that bad. Like, she looks like her hair's still black and everything.
And that's her death mask.
The cheekbones are cheekboning. Girl, she had that facial structure. That's insane. She pretty. And also, I think it's crazy that she tried to get on that. Like, how did she not know she was just stabbed? Like,
So her corset was so tightly bound
mm-hmm.
that like it felt like a punch.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably felt like a sharp stabbing pain, but she probably thought like, "Oh, I've never been punched before. This is what getting punched feels like."
Oh, it feels like getting stabbed? That's crazy. Also, you can go ahead.
And actually, the cutting of her corset actually hastened her death because it was so tightly bound that it was restricting like
The blood flow.
blood flow. So
Yeah.
when it opened, like she bled out a lot faster.
That's crazy.
It's actually really crazy because she fainted. They cut open her corset. Her breathing became easier and she woke up and she said, and somebody said, "Are you hurt?" And she said, "No. What's happened?" And then promptly passed out again. And she died minutes later.
That's crazy. And I just picture the lady in waiting covered in blood being like, "Turn around the boat! You don't understand!" And the captain's just like seeing
There
her.
was
like,
barely, she was so tightly laced up, there was barely any blood.
That's crazy.
Like, it was a fatal wound. But, like, if they would have kept the corset just laced, she would have lived a while longer.
Interesting. That's such a crazy story. Like,
Yeah, it's just like there's so. I really had to condense it.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, because, like, some people say, like, she had a lifelong fascination with death, some, like, the mental illness aspect. And it was like, I just kind of wanted to cover her beauty routine because that's just insane.
Yeah, it's all a very insane story, and there's so many aspects from, like you said, the mental illness part of it, the eating disorder part of it, to like how artistic she was.
Yes, and I think a lot of her beauty routine, like how strict it was something that she could control.
Right.
She couldn't control anything else in her life. Her mother-in-law, her husband, like they took it off of her.
Mm-hmm.
But this she could control. She took body autonomy to like a whole new level.
In the worst way.
Yes, in the worst way.
Like, yeah, she
but
was
also
like...
it is really nice because like she did like eventually like if she had an eating disorder, it seems like she kicked it later in life.
Mm-hmm.
And she started eating again and like she still exercised. Like she would like her lady in waiting said like yeah, it was kind of terrible because she would take us on these multiple hour long hikes every day. In all weather.
That's a lot. And I think it comes back to like the extreme beauty trends that still exist to this day.
Yes.
And it's so interesting to think about like how they had the same like of course they were different beauty trends, but like just things to keep you beautiful. And like how many people like there's so many people today that are still so obsessed with that beauty and obtaining it and maintaining it, and they'll buy any cream, do any whatever the
and
fuck.
it's like they'll do these things and it's like this doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Oh my gosh! There was recently a big like trend, and And I like looked into it like, oh, does this actually help? And it was like, yeah, there's no
Right.
proven like that it helps anything.
Right. And I feel like because they're making so much money off of it, they'll like fake research and do all sorts of
Yes.
things.
And I really think
yeah.
that SiSi probably fell for a lot of those like, oh, like you have to kill a snake and like bathe in its and like smear its blood on your face.
Exactly.
Literal
exactly.
snake oil.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about. It makes you think twice about those crazy beauty regimens or whatever $130 cream you can buy that's gonna try and make
Truly.
or like even just going back to because like I was at this party and it was like all gays there and the one guy was a plastic surgeon and he was like, let's have a Botox party. Like, bitch, a Botox party? Like,
do you know how much that costs?
right. Like, let's all get Botox together and have a Botox party. And it's like, how out of touch
Yeah.
Are you that worried about your forehead wrinkling? Like, I'm someone who, like, doesn't give a fuck.
I mean,
I'm gonna age how I age and it's gonna be what it is.
I mean, speaking of Botox, I would get Botox under my arms.
Mm-hmm.
But that's to prevent sweating.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Because that's a problem. I like clothes and I like dressing a certain way, and that's the problem is if you a little sweatier under the arm, that can really ruin the look of an outfit.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
So I would do that, but that's
plenty of people
that's
do that.
vanity. That's like very shallow vanity. Like, I don't want pit stains.
Well, there's also people who like sweat a lot more than the average person who do that as well. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
who like need it. I don't need it.
yeah,
but I would get it.
yeah. I feel like in today's culture, there's such a stigma around aging and fearing wrinkles and stuff. And I think it was Brittany Broski who like worded it the best. Like, it just shows you've lived life, and every wrinkle and every like aging scar, it just shows you've lived and you've done there and you've been that. And I think that's really beautiful.
An actress I really like, she was on a talk show and somebody said like, oh, like you're still beautiful, so beautiful. Have you had any work done? She said, no, this is just like my natural skin. It's like, what do you do? And it's like, I eat right, I exercise, I wear sunscreen. And it's like, would you ever get work done? And she said, no, because like I own every wrinkle and line.
Right.
And it shows where I've been and where I come from.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, it's coming for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We're going to age with grace. And I'm going to be that spooky witch on the mountain.
But if you want to know more about SiSi, on Netflix, there's actually this really good series called The Empress. It's German language, but they've dubbed it in English. And it's very like fictionalized and fantastical, but it is very entertaining to watch. And Paul, I have 2 questions for you.
Okay.
Out of all of SiSi's beauty regimes, which would you be most likely to try?
Oh, jeez. I think maybe the corseting. I would do it because when I was doing drag, I was wearing corsets.
Yeah.
So I would do that for sure. I don't know. Maybe try putting oils in my hair. I don't know. What about you?
I would actually just once, I would try the olive oil bath. Just to see
what it feels like. It probably feels crazy.
I mean, you've dipped your finger in olive oil before, so just imagine that all over your body. But I just do want to see, like, okay, does it make the skin softer or smoother or something?
Well, I used to put olive oil on my face as makeup remover when I was doing drag.
You did do that.
Yeah, and it's the most disgusting feeling. Like, even after.
Did it clog your pores?
Yes, you feel so disgusting afterwards. I imagine
the things
yeah.
Maybe not that, but a goat's milk bath. Because apparently goat's milk is really good for your skin.
Right. I feel like getting in an olive oil bath would feel the same as being back in a womb. Like you're back in your mom's womb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just that thick liquid.
Yeah.
Second question, smash or pass? A fleshlight made out of SiSi's veal sleep mask.
How old is the veal?
She slept in it last night. So it's nice and warm.
Well, since my family watches this, I'm gonna have to pass. Just so
I'm also gonna pass.
I'm
just
still in the will.
Just raw meat grosses me out.
Oh my god.
We started this episode with raw meat and we're ending it with raw meat.
We like it raw here.
Oh my god, please guys, let us know what you think about SiSi's beauty routine and if you agree with it. And like you said last week, like we might have to revisit her because like her story's it's just crazy. Like,
Yeah, it's an interesting story.
maybe visit her like fascination with death later on.
Yeah, I didn't know shit about this person before this episode, so like, but I'm sat now. Like, this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Maybe we can watch SiSi after this. Or at the Empress. It's called the Empress. Jesus.
Right.
I'm losing it. Please let us know what you think. You can text us if you're listening to us on any of our audio channels, such as Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Or if you are watching on YouTube, you can't text us, but just go on those and you can text us or DM us on any of our socials. You can find those below. If you have personal stories, please email us at our email also listed below. Paul, where can they find you?
You can find me at my personal Instagram and TikTok at Paulember, Paulember. Just real quick, make sure you're watching our TikTok lives, Twinks and Drinks, doing the thing.
Tuesdays.
Exactly.
At 9 Eastern?
Let's do 9:30.
9:30 Eastern.
Yeah, Tuesdays at 9:30 Eastern time. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or just want to talk about shit about the episode or just anything, we'll be live there for Twinks and Drinks. And as usual, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
And if you'd like to follow me, please do so on TikTok and on Instagram at TheRealDeegePowers. And until next time, I don't even know. Keep your grips tight and your corks loose.
Bye.
Bye.
Said my
Sorry,
part.
I know I bulldozed right over you. Sorry.
It's fine.
I was thinking about the dogs eating raw meat off my face.
Ew.
And I got real ooked out.
Ew.